Hello and welcome. It's Tracy Daviero here from Your VA Mentor. My apologies for being a few minutes late. We had a recording session. I'm just trying to close up all this stuff that I got going on here. A recording session for our online conference, and we had a bit of tech issues right in the beginning, and it was like a super great talk. So I really wanted to make sure that, hold on here. I really wanted to make sure that I didn't cut them off because, that's not good. So, but anyway, so I appreciate you tuning in a little bit late, and I'm just pulling my notes up here. We are talking today about what to include on your website. One of the things that I want to cover in these calls is to always cover something that people are talking about or questions I get asked in VA forums or in groups or private messages or emails. I get an awful lot of communication about lots of different questions for VAs who are starting out. And so I like to be able to cover those in these calls for you as a means of you getting to know me a little bit better. And I keep going to the wrong thing though. There we go. For you getting to know me a little bit better, and for me to be able to have a forum to answer the questions that you guys are asking. So if you're virtual, you're going to need an online presence. And I always tell people that they can start their business without having a website. And that's true. Definitely it is. I think that working virtually, we need to make sure that clients are able to find us online someplace, because we're not sometimes, face to face with them. Local clients are fine and that kind of thing. But the first thing I do when I leave a networking event is I go home and I take someone's business card, or I know their name because I've connected with them. And the first thing I do is I go in and check them out online. And even if I'm talking to somebody virtually, even if somebody emails me or whatever, I'll look for them on Facebook, I'll look for them on LinkedIn, and I'll check them out. I'll see if they have a website. And so it's not always necessary to have a website right out of the gate, but it's definitely something that you want to plan for in the early future, in the early stages of your business. And so it can be something that's super simple. I know that I actually used to have a client that did one-page websites, and I highly recommend it. I think that, getting a domain name and hosting is so reasonable these days and it is a really good business expense for you, but you don't have to think about having something that's 50 pages and has, tons and tons of features and all this kind of thing. What you really need is an online presence. And so, your LinkedIn profile can serve as that for the beginning stages of what you're doing, but you really do want to be able to migrate that stuff to a website. So you're going to need to, buy your domain name, get a host, decide what kind of website type you're going to want, and whether you want to have it on WordPress is so popular these days still, but there's Squarespace, there's Wix, there's Weebly. There are lots of places. You could even GoDaddy website tonight, I think it's still called. There's lots of places where you can go quickly and get your business set up. I remember I tell the story when I talk about websites about my cousin who she had taken her esthetician's course. And so I don't know how long it was or what she took or where she took it, but she had gotten to the end of her training and she got her certificate or her diploma. And all of a sudden I get an email from her new email address. And she said, my business is open. And this was, very quickly, my business is open and here's my website. And so she was so excited by it. And she actually did hers right on Vistaprint. So it was like within 15 minutes of getting her diploma. So it's really easy to get a website up quickly. There are ways to do it, more cost effectively, of course. Like for me, I know that I have, I pay for my own host, I pay for my own domain and that kind of thing. But if you just want to kind of get online and get it done really quickly, then that's something that there are lots of ways for you to do that as well. And so I just want to talk about the things that you want to have on your website today. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm not talking about learning how to build a WordPress website and trying to get it online and that kind of thing. We're talking about doing a simple job so that it covers what it is, what you need to do. So at the very minimum, you want to have a home page. Obviously, that's going to be your main landing page. And so what you want to do on that is you want to not talk about, and here's a big mistake that a lot of VAs make, is they talk about having a VA business and being a VA and, how their business is started and that type of thing. Now, I'm not talking about the services you offer, but a lot of VAs will actually just put on their website, I've recently opened my business and I'm very excited and I'm very. And I did this too. Like I said to you, I tell you guys all the time that things I teach you are things that I've done wrong and things that I've corrected in my business. And so But on your web page or on your home page, you want to make sure you're speaking directly to clients. And so I'm not going to go into a big lesson about copywriting or content writing or anything like that, but at the same time, the content needs to be about them. So, when you land on a website and I'm trying, maybe it would be for, well, it doesn't matter what the content would be, but you're going to a website yourself. Say it's about, social media marketing. And when you get to that page, if you got to that page and you wanted to learn about how to do Facebook ads for somebody, okay, let's use that as an example. So you were going to someone and said, Facebook ads are us. That's where you're going to go. I'm making this up on the spot. So this is totally okay. It's all going to work out. Don't worry. So Facebook ads are us. You know that you want to bring this service into your business. So you go to Facebook ads are us. What do you want to see on their home page? You want to see the things that you're going to learn. You want to see that they are saying, hey, hi, we're glad to have you here. These are the services we offer. This is the stuff that you can do with it when you learn how to do these Facebook ads. You can increase your rates. You can get better clients. You can, work better hours. You can work less and earn more. And you can help, your clients take the real upsetting Facebook ads are expensive and don't work, and they're, that kind of thing. You can change your client's mindset about using Facebook ad marketing for their business. You can do all of these things. That's what you want to see on their website, right? You don't want to go to their website and see, I just opened my Facebook ads training business. I'm so excited to be able to work with clients to teach them about Facebook ads. I'm very happy to be able to work from home and do my Facebook ads training for you. So that's what I'm trying to get to, okay? When VAs first start writing content for their website, it's often very much about themselves and not so much about the client. So on Facebook Ads Are Us, you want to make sure, and that could actually be a URL, I don't know. But on Facebook Ads Are Us, as the consumer that that's not the information you want to see. I don't want to hear about them opening their business. There's a place for it on the website, and I'll get to that shortly, but you want to make sure that you are talking to them, that the information that you're providing on your homepage is for them. Okay, so that's really important. The second page that you want to definitely have is an about page. I'm very, very clear with all of my clients that I work with and any of the VAs that I come into contact with. It's very important to not be faceless, okay? Now, you can have a logo that you use and that kind of thing. You can use the word we on your website as opposed to using the word I if you don't want people to understand that you're, a person, an individual person. But on the about page, I think it's really important to talk about who you are. Well, for me as a support professional, my clients are hiring me. They're deciding to hire me because of, partly my personality, partly my expertise, but partly as for whatever services I provide for them to, my communication expertise and that type of thing. And so putting up something that's sort of faceless and say, Facebook Ads Are Us is, and a little bit of a corporate bio, it's okay to have that, but I still think that it's important to put yourself on there, put your face there. Let people know Facebook Ads Are Us is the brainchild of Tracy Daviero, who has experience doing this, who loves to do this. And, you can put in, I love to put in my hobbies and a little bit about myself and that kind of thing too. And sometimes people don't like that. I've had clients push back before and say, I don't really want my personal information out there. Well, if you're going to be putting yourself out onto the web to be able to have people work with you and hire you, you're going to have to put yourself out there a little bit. And it's fine. You don't have to tell people where you live or post your address or, put your phone number up or anything like that, or talk about your children. You don't have to do any of those things, but you do have to let them know why you arrived at this place to open your business and why they should be the ones who are hiring you. Okay, it's really, really important. So don't be faceless. And so on your about page, that's even where you can start to put that information about, I went off on maternity leave and I decided that this is what I wanted to do. And you don't have to tell people your life story, but you can say to them, an opportunity came along for me to serve a lot more clients. That's usually what I would put and say, I was offering this service to one boss or one company, and I decided that it was a really valuable service that I thought more clients could need, and so I decided to open my own business and go for it there. So your about us can be as technical as you want it to be or as not technical, but that's what you want to be able to put on that, is tell people about you, because that's what they're looking for. Is they're looking for a little bit of information about you. That's why they click about, right? And a little bit about your business, and just expose a little bit of your personality there if you can. The third page that I always suggest that you have is a service page. And so the reason for that is that people don't always have to come to your website right from the beginning, from your front page. They can come from anywhere. And if you're just looking for some connection with a client, say someone has Facebooked you or, connected with you on LinkedIn, you can actually give them that page, the services URL, so they don't always have to read through things. And so it's a very good place to put everything. It's easy to keep it updated. What do you do for clients specifically? Now, maybe you have service packages, maybe you have categories of services. And this is what I often suggest to people, is not to put a laundry list of services on your website. It's okay to know how to do a lot of things, and it's okay to say yes to clients whenever you know how to do something that they need. But what you really want to do is organize it when it's not, so that it's not so confusing, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, you could, put things into categories. When you if you have a lot, then you categorize them. So categorize them into client communication or business communication. I used to call, business documentation, I used to call it. And that was doing Word docs, formatting, proofreading, PDFs, PowerPoints, any kind of that type of thing. A lot of business owners are not that good at communicating, writing the letters, right? The secretary wrote the letters and the CEO sometimes didn't. So business documentation was one of the categories that I had when I first started out. And I put all of those things into it. So when you start to talk to a client, if they have, if you have things sort of categorized in your mind, instead of saying, I could write this and this and this, and try to tell them 12 different things that you can do, you say, I think I could probably help you with your business documentation or your client communication or your email marketing, and then, break out a few of those services that you, that you do for your clients. So just make it look the way someone can consume it easily, like if they're reading it. So it doesn't have to be a package of services, but those can be the categories of things that you offer to them. So you want to keep things as simple as possible and be very specific about the services that you offer so that people understand what they are. I know that for a lot of VAs that I know, they talk about managing databases. And for me as a client, for me as a VA, I've never offered that service that I know of. So I don't really know what that means. And so I often ask VAs, like, what do you do? Like, what do you mean you manage their database? And what it comes into is that sometimes it's a CRM that they manage. Sometimes it's, data that they're entering for, various industries or something like that. And so being able to explain what that means is in sort of plainer language sometimes makes a lot more sense. So for me, when someone said, well, that's their database, I manage their customer, their CRM. Oh, okay. Well, that's very valid then to a lot of different industries that, that I work with or that I get into contact with, because it's very important for anybody really understand what it is that you do, unless you're really specialized, like in the legal field or the financial field or in the medical field. It's really important to be able to have that information that's on your website be in sort of not techie or jargony kind of language, so that anybody who's going to your website can understand it. The other page that you want to have, there we go, is you want to have a contact page. Now this can just have your email address on it, or not a link, but you want to do the @ and the .com so that people can't click and send you spam, or have a web form if that's something that you can set up as well. But you want to be able to have a place where people can connect with you if they need to easily. So your website's up, and again, if this is all a one-page website, then you can just do it in sort of stages, right? I've seen a lot of people just doing sections. You do the homepage part, and then you do the services, and then you do the about, and you can guide people that way. But you do want to have a means for them to easily contact you. You want to tell them if they want to get in touch with you, how do they do that? And so whatever that is, what I often like to do on this page is also to put all of the social media connections, because sometimes it's not that they want to call you or email you or fill in a contact form to get to you. Sometimes they just want to know a little bit more about you and maybe connect a little bit more with you online before they make a decision about whether they want to talk to you or connect with you. So I would put my all social media connection logos, I guess, if you want to call them, so that they can click to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your whatever else there is out there. So contact page is really important so that people can connect and contact you. Okay. And basically, yeah, that's kind of it. That's, 4 pages. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes, it is. So 4 pages. Or like I say, 4 sections if you're just getting started. And here's a little tip for you as well, is if you don't have a website right out of the gate, what you should be able to do is you should be able to actually position your LinkedIn page exactly the same way. Okay, your LinkedIn bio, instead of making it look like a resume, which, that's what they've sort of set it up, but you have your big summary area where you can put your profile details. And so take those 4 sections that I talked about, the home page. So the, paragraph at the top that says, this is what this is what I can help you with. These are the services that you need and the services I can help you with. And then your about, tell them a little bit about you, or your services. The intro part is your homepage. So what they need, the things that they need help with, then the solution, your services, then a little bit about you, and then a little bit about the contact at the bottom. Now, obviously you can't add, all your social icons to your LinkedIn profile, but you get the idea. And you want your LinkedIn profile to look very similar to a website. So it has the same information, it talks to people in the same way. Even though it's a different platform, it's very, very effective to be able to do that. So I hope that was helpful for you today. Again, I apologize for being a little bit late, but you should join us on the online conference, because the last interview that I just did was with Dave Yurichuk for Motivation, and it's very, very good. It's one of our 11 talks that we have coming up for you, 12 talks actually coming up for you, and it's really fantastic. So check it out, thevaconferenceonline.com. I'll put the link here in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you here next week. Take care.